It's 1946 in Tokyo, Japan. The devastating aftermath of World War II has left the country in ruins, both physically and economically. In the midst of this destruction, two men, Masaru Ibuka and Akio Morita, decided to dream of something bigger. With just $530 in capital, they opened a small electronics shop called Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo. Their first product? A rice cooker. And it failed, miserably. But this failure didn't stop them. Instead, it lit a fire of curiosity, urging them to innovate. They asked themselves, what do people really need in this new world? That question would define Sony for decades to come. Sony's first major breakthrough came in the 1950s with a bold gamble. They secured a license to produce Japan's first commercial tape recorder. But it wasn't until years later, when they developed the TR-55, a transistor radio, that their innovation shook the industry. Sony recognized an untapped market. They didn't just design a radio, they designed it to be portable. Suddenly, Sony wasn't a small Japanese company anymore. It became a name whispered around the globe. Enter the 1970s, the height of disco, vibrant cultural shifts, and, of course, the consumer electronics boom. In 1979, Sony introduced the Walkman. Picture it, a device that lets you take not just music, but your own world anywhere. There were skeptics inside the company who believed it would fail. Why would anyone want headphones instead of speakers? They asked. But Akio Morita insisted. He personally bet his reputation to bring the Walkman to life. The result? An absolute revolution in personal entertainment. Millions sold. A cultural phenomenon born. The Walkman didn't just establish Sony as an innovator, it made them synonymous with cool. But just when it seemed Sony had peaked, they surprised the world once again. In the 1990s, the company launched the PlayStation, a bold step into the then fringe world of gaming. Sony wasn't initially seen as a contender in this arena. Sega and Nintendo ruled the world of consoles. But Sony's strategy was simple yet genius. They combined innovative hardware with a huge focus on third-party developers. Games became cinematic experiences under Sony's guidance. By 1999, the PlayStation had sold over 70 million units globally, demolishing all competition. Sony wasn't just a tech company. They were storytellers now, creators of worlds within worlds. By the 2000s, intense competition from companies like Samsung and Apple pushed them to the brink. Their once iconic products, like the Trinitron TV, no longer dominated the market. Critics whispered that the giant had fallen. And yet, these whispers only pushed Sony harder. By embracing a strategy to lead not just in electronics, but in entertainment as an ecosystem, Sony came roaring back. They invested heavily in their music label, their movie studio, and their gaming empire, creating a synergy that would shape the future of media. Think about it. They don't just make the PlayStation. They produce the movies you watch on it, publish the music you hear in their games, and design the hardware on which it all happens. This strategy paid off massively. Today, Sony is not just a company. It's an idea, a symbol of innovation across industries. From Spider-Man on the big screen to the immersive gameplay of The Last of Us, Sony continues to define entertainment as part of our daily lives. They are now pioneers in virtual reality and artificial intelligence, constantly asking the original question, what do people need in this world? So what can we learn from Sony? It's this: reinvention is not just optional, it's inevitable. Failures are steps. Each bold move brings new opportunities, but only if we see past the immediate challenge. Sony's story is living proof that no matter the odds or the competition, staying curious, embracing transformation, and daring to dream on a different scale can change the world. Want to know how other companies like Tesla and Netflix continue to dominate their industries? Click here to watch more breakdowns of brilliant business strategies. Who knows? The next big innovation could be yours.